Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Sports Corner. I'm Dante Centofanti.
And I'm Austin Arnold.
The Kent State women's basketball team welcomed in Buffalo Wednesday night with the chance to clinch a MAC tournament spot.
Let's go ahead to the MAC Center for the highlights as we see Buffalo and Kent State. This game was a doozy, everybody. Katie Shoemate going coast to coast. She'll pull up for two and bang, that one's in the bucket. Later on, Kent State swings it around the horn here after the missed shot. Lindsay Thal out from up top of the key, that one's in. Later on, Deasia Fair steals this one and goes all the way down and scores. And we got some more fair for Deasia Fair. She will get the second chance opportunity here and she will score off the block. Later on, Blackford would drive it in and score. And then Blackford again driving and scoring with the power. Deasia Fair, however, had more to say. Floater, that one's good. And then Claire Kelly for three. Bang, that one was money all net. Later on, Cheyenne McEvans hit the two, but it wasn't good enough. Kent State pulls on for the win. Claire Kelly's layup extends the lead, 65-62. Let's go to Todd Starkey after the game.
You think about it, I mean, it's crazy. I told the team in the locker room after the game, it's amazing what 1 week can do. I mean, a week ago, we were sitting in the locker room at Western Michigan, you know, and people probably left us on the side of the road for dead, but you know, we had some heart-to-hearts with some people. We talked about some things, and they knew they were better than that. We challenged them. They responded. Ball movement has gotten significantly better, and I think that just builds trust, that next passing up good shots for great shots or average shots for good shots, I think they're really starting to see that as well, and hopefully that will continue.
Win over the Bulls at home. The Golden Flashes traveled to Oxford for a showdown with the Miami Redhawks. The first game between these two teams was a back-and-forth classic, and the second meeting was no exception, with Peyton Scott taking it home for the Redhawks with a buzzer-beater three-pointer, making it 61-58. Nyla Blackford led the Flashes with a team-high 18 points and 14 rebounds, while matching her career high in steals with 4. The Flashes look to bounce back in an away game with the first-place Bowling Green Falcons on Wednesday. And as we look at the women's standings in the Mid-American Conference, if the MAC tournament started today, Austin Arnold, BG would be ahead here at 13-3. You have OU at 10-5, Central at 11-6, and our very own Kent State Golden Flashes at 9-5. You're looking at the leaders in the conference. They are currently 8th in offense. They're currently 6th in defense, and in terms of margin, Kent State is 9th. Austin, they got to pick up the offense. It's like Coach Starkey said after the game, ball movement was improved, but they got to really improve the offense in terms of ball movement.
I 100% agree with you. And then taking a look at the upcoming schedule, they have a huge game on Wednesday at Bowling Green, followed by Saturday, March 6th versus Akron. And then the MAC tournament starts the 11th through the 14th, assuming this team gets in, Dante.
Correct.
They are going to have to swing the ball around, because when you swing the ball around, it gives you opportunities to score. And I'll give you a prime example of key ball movement. Just look at the Spurs and what they've done their whole entire tenure since Greg Popovich has been a head coach for them. Ball movement has been key. You don't have to have the best players on the court, but if you can create opportunities for yourself to score as a team and a unit, it will really come together and pay off in dividends. And like Todd Starkey said after the Buffalo game, if you swing the ball, good things are bound to happen. I expect Kent State to swing the ball against Bowling Green. I expect them to swing the ball against Akron to end the season. More importantly, this has to translate into the tournament, because if this does translate into the tournament, they can soon show the offensive prowess that this team is capable of showing, Dante.
Also, a couple other stats before we move on. In turnover margin, right now the Flashes are 10th, and in assist-to-turnover ratio, they are 9th. So a couple things to maybe improve on going into the MAC tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Improve on the turnover margin. I mean, you never want to be 10th in that category.
No, you do not.
And, you know, for Kent State, you just have to pick it up. If you can't pick it up, they could be an early ride
But
home.
again, Todd Starkey's one of the elite coaches in the MAC, Austin. I feel like if they'll be able to improve, and they're getting hot, and they'll be fine coming into the MAC tournament. I still feel they will be. I've been harping on it for weeks, but I still think they'll be fine. And after holding the Miami Redhawks to just 6 points in the final 11 minutes of the game, the Kent State men's basketball team took home their 12th conference victory of the season in Oxford. The Golden Flashes were led by the bigs underneath with a 19-point, 11-rebound, double-double game from Cleveland Central Catholic's own Tervel Beck, and Danny Pippen scoring 15 points and finding 10 rebounds of his own. Kent State out-rebounded Miami 45-27 and held the Redhawks to just 34.5% shooting from the floor. This bounce-back win puts the Golden Flashes in second place in the MAC, just 2 games behind the Toledo Rockets, with 2 games remaining before the MAC championship tournament. The men's basketball team ends their regular season with a Tuesday home game against the Ohio Bobcats, followed by a Friday matchup in upstate New York against Buffalo against the Bulls. And as we look at the men's tournament standings right now, if the MAC tournament started today rather, at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, you have Toledo at 14-3, Kent State right behind them at 12-5, Akron 12-5. They've already clinched a first-round bye. They're going to Cleveland come any high water, if you will. But Austin, what do you see as the big challenge facing this team as the MAC tournament is a week away?
Winning these last 2 games, I mean, that is the challenge that I see. And yeah, if you do clinch the bye, then great. Like you said, they have clinched the bye already. So with them playing Ohio and playing Buffalo to end the season, I did say this a week ago, this is going to be a hard last 2 games. Ohio did just beat Akron, and they have looked pretty good down the stretch. And Buffalo, we know they can turn it on at whatever point, because the last time they played Kent State, it was a thriller of a game. For Kent State, if you win these last 2 games, you have momentum going into the tournament. What's better not that you want to have momentum going into this tournament, because you never know who's going to win the MAC on any given year. And who knows, is this the year where Rob Senderoff and the Flashes finally cash in and take themselves to Indianapolis, Dante? I think it could be, but you have to play good down the stretch. And these are 2 critical games. It might not seem like it now, but these 2 games could definitely decide how your MAC tournament goes.
They're huge, because right now, like the women's team, they've got to start picking it up offensively. They rank 6th, averaging 77.8 points per game, but they're playing Buffalo, they're playing OU. Right now, Buffalo is the best offensive team in the conference. Ohio is right there at number 3. You know, Porter's going to be a problem. You know, they were able, you know, to contain him well in the game at Athens, but, you know, the game at home tomorrow, they got to make sure they contain him. He's one of the best players in the Mid-American Conference for a region. In terms of margin, they're number 3. So Kent State right now is one of the hotter teams in the MAC coming into the tournament, but at the same time, they got to improve offensively. Again, the loss of Mike Nugent is a big hole for them, but if they want to compete with Toledo, if they want to avenge those 2 losses to Akron, they got to put points on the board, because Toledo and Akron are teams that can score very, very highly.
And defensively, this team is very good, but like you said, they have to pick it up offensively, because the Ball State game was a huge focal point. When you give up 11 3-pointers in the first half, that's typically not a recipe for success to win the game. From basketball, we will now swing to lacrosse. The Kent State lacrosse team hosted the Marquette Golden Eagles on a Sunday afternoon matchup at Dick Stadium. Marquette jumped out to an early lead and never looked back as the Golden Flashes lose their 2nd game of the season, 19-8. All 5 Flashes who scored in the season opener also found the net on Sunday, led by junior Madison Rapier, recording her 3rd straight multi-goal game dating back to 2020. The Kent State lacrosse team continues their 3-game homestand on a Wednesday showdown with Robert Morris, followed by a trip to Cincinnati to take on the Bearcats. The Kent State women's volleyball team was tested this weekend with a pair of games against the MAC East leading Bowling Green Falcons, with dominant performances at the net from pairing of Taylor Herbley and Melissa Kolobasi. The Golden Flashes were able to force 5 sets in both games, but ultimately lost the 2 sets, seeing how close Kent State was to victory over an undefeated Bowling Green. Will do nothing to motivate the Golden Flashes as they look forward to their next pair of matches against Miami.
Let's go to track and field, Austin. The track and field team was in action this past weekend at the MAC Indoor Championships hosted in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Highlighting the women's team's top 6 finish was Gabby Bailey taking home the shot put title and Leah Pascoletti taking home the title for pole vault. Senior Grace Tennant was also recognized as the MAC Scholar Athlete of the Week to finish off February, as she now sits 14th on the Nationals performance list. The men's track and field team took home 3rd place in the MAC and were led by Jacob Malley, Drew Johnson, and Alexander Shields, each of them earning all MAC honors. Senior Jake Wicke also earned a 1st place finish in the weight throw, his 3rd MAC title moving him to 5th place nationally.
The Kent State wrestling team was in action at the MAC Championships in Trenton, New Jersey this weekend. Highlighting the team's weekend was Andrew McNally taking home the 174-pound title in an instant classic match with Missouri's Peyton Mako. Holding Mako scoreless in the final 16 seconds and riding the time bonus gave McNally the 8-7 win along with the MAC title. The Kent State wrestling team also saw Cody Kamara and Jake Ferry qualify for nationals in their matches. In the MAC championships, Kent State finished 8th place overall, and now look forward to nationals hosted in St. Louis from March 18th to March 20th. And when we come back, we head to the Diamond to check out how the Flashes played this weekend against Tennessee Tech in their 3-game series. So don't go anywhere, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We might root for different teams, but we all respect the game. And we can all root for each other when we wear a mask. Mask up, America.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Welcome back to Sports Corner. The Kent State baseball team was in full effect taking on Tennessee Tech. They capped off a weekend series against Tennessee Tech with an 8-1 victory on Sunday afternoon, and the Flashes were led by 5 strong innings on the mound for Max Ripple and 4 RBIs at the plate for Colin Matthews. The 3 weekend wins moved Kent State to a 3-2 on the season, and they look to keep the momentum rolling into next weekend's series as the team travels to Morgantown, West Virginia for a matchup with the Mountaineers.
Let's now hit the golfing greens as the women's golf finished 2nd overall in the Florida State matchup with Emily Price shooting +5 over par, Kaylee McGinty shooting +6 overall. And for the Kent State Golden Flashes women's golf team, March 13th and the 14th, they play at Valspar Augusta Invitational. That is the next time the golf team will play. As we go to the men's recap as well, they finished 9th in the Border Olympics. Cade Rittenstein finished +3 over par, and Julian Patrienri finished +8 over par as well. Their next matchup is 14th through the 16th in March at the General Hackler Collegiate.
And the gymnastics team fell to Northern Illinois in a road matchup over the weekend. The Flashes and the Huskies couldn't have been more balanced in the first half of the meet, pushing back and forth from event to event until a walk-off floor routine won it for Northern Illinois. The Flashes' valiant effort was led by Rachel DeKavitich, tying for 2nd place on both the bars and vault and tying for first place on her floor routine with a score of 9.875. The gymnastics team looks to bounce back next Sunday in a hosted matchup with Ball State University. And partner, let's look at the football schedule for the Golden Birds coming into the 2021 season. They are going to open up with an SEC opponent at Texas A&M, and then they play the Virginia Military Institute in the home opener on 9/11, and then following they play back-to-back Big Ten opponents at Iowa, at Maryland. They begin their conference opener with the Bowling Green Falcons in a battle for the University Trophy. They have Akron a little bit later than in past matchups. It's the second to last game of the season at Infozision Stadium. They're at OU 10-23, and they have Western Michigan. They haven't played Western Michigan in a while. They will go to Western Michigan to play a very big road game. Hopefully they get a road win from there. But how do you see the schedule faring out?
in the first 4 games, I was looking at this really closely, Dante. In the first 4 games, I can see Kent State respectfully going 2-2. Most people would think 1-3 because you have to play Iowa and Maryland and Texas A&M. But I can see this team going 2-2 to start the year. And don't be fooled. And I know this is a hot take, but don't be fooled if they go into College Station and end up winning. I mean, Kent State has proven that they can beat better teams. I think they can beat Texas A&M with Kellen Mond not there anymore, but that's a big if. The most likely team I can see them in that top 4 that them winning against would probably have to be Maryland at the end of that. And then in the MAC, it's always hard to kind of map out where they're going to be in the MAC. I could see Kent State only losing 1 or 2 games in the MAC. Obviously, Buffalo is going to be a huge game for them, as it always has been, but I think the Ohio game for them this year is going to be a game that's going to be huge.
I mean, you got Dustin Crum returning. You have a very solid recruiting class. And when you talk about the games that they have that they could win in terms of non-conference games, to be honest with you, partner, I really don't see them winning any games. But if I had to pick a game they could win, it would be Maryland, because both of these programs put up a lot of points.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree with you on that. I think VMI could be a win for the Golden Flashes. But when we come back, we will take a look at the very best plays from around the week that was in Kent State athletics. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
It's a big responsibility.
Oh, it's huge. I know, it's huge.
And the salary.
Oh my god, yes.
Right?
I mean, like, I was about to move in with my parents, and right before, so this saved me.
I really believe in you, you know?
Thank you. It's nice to hear that from someone.
These are cool. Did you, what did you?
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to Sports Corner. It was a busy weekend for the Wine and Golders. Let's go to the city of brotherly love, where they were playing Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and the Sixers. Let's go to the first quarter. Jared Allen taking it right down, getting some offense going here, some ball movement. Crisscross. There you got Jared Allen taking it through the lane, right through Broad Street for a one-hand jam. He finished with 14 points. Second play, second quarter. Damian Dotson with a nice bounce pass to Colin Sexton. Then Sexton again, stutter step to the high post. He would get another bucket. Then he blows past to Dwight Howard for a fillet and a foul. And then Jerry Scarlett is going to lob it up to, guess who? The young bull. Playing for times like this, to play like this. He finished with 28 points. Then, fourth quarter, Joel Embiid. That straight barbecue chicken on Jared Allen, and he shakes him off for the slam on the baseline. He finished with 42 points in this game. Then, fourth quarter, time winding down. Will Joel Embiid win it for the Sixers? No, he will not. We have overtime in the city of brotherly love. Then, Darius Garland just took over this game. He finds a way to the hole on Allen. He finished with 25 points. Career high for Darius Garland. Cavs win. Big game. 112 to 109.
That's 3 straight now for the Wine and
Yes,
Gold,
sir.
Dante. That's a very good sign. But what do you have to say now with this schedule coming up? Like, they got Houston at 9 p.m. tonight. They already beat them once. I mean, you'd imagine they're going to try and beat them again.
You see, Austin, this is the formula. We saw, I think this Sixers game is going to be a very, very, very key game in terms of how we see the Cavs organization moving forward in the next 3 years. And I know that's a big thing to say. But when you see Colin Sexton and Darius Garland both put up 20 points together, it's special. And you see, once they do that, they're capable of beating any team. And the Sixers are the best team in the East right now, and they won in overtime. They took them on the road, even though there really was no home court advantage for the Sixers. They took them on the road to overtime. That really shows you a testament to what these two can do once they're both clicking on full cylinders. And they've won 3 straight, so who knows where they're going to go.
I think that whole Western Conference road skid was definitely a fluke. But now let's get to Iowa, Ohio State, down in the capital of Ohio, Columbus, as this game was pretty much all Iowa from the jump, as Connor McCaffrey will go ahead and shoot the 3 ball. He'll miss, but Luke Garza, it was his game to lose.
He's going to be a star.
Gets the and one. Luka Garza on this play yet again. He'll just blow by an Ohio State defender, and he'll put in the 2-point bucket himself. Later on, swing to Garza for 3-pointer. The man could do it all for Iowa. He finished with 24 points this game, and the Hawkeyes were just rolling the whole time. Garza, again, leave me open. I will make you pay. Later on for the Hawkeyes, they swing the ball around again. And who else? Luka Garza. Bang, another 3-pointer for the Iowa Hawkeye. Like I said, he finished with 24. And then pretty much end portion of this game, it was Iowa yet again. They get it to Garza, then they swing it. They will find Joe Wieskamp. He'll do the Carmelo Selly at the end. 73-57, Hawkeyes win.
And Austin, as college basketball is coming towards that beautiful, beautiful time of the year, March Madness, you have conference tournaments just a week away. And I'm looking at the field here. Other than Gonzaga, no team is really, to me, is really as good as Gonzaga. They are clearly the best team in college basketball. They are on the verge of having a very, very historic season. I think they're very capable of running the table and going undefeated and being the first undefeated college basketball team since the 1976 Indiana Hoosiers. Michigan, though, is no joke. I mean, they're clearly the best team in the Big Ten. Ohio State is really falling down. Baylor proved, in my opinion, they were a fluke, losing to Kansas and Lawrence this past weekend. The Big Ten is the best conference in college basketball, but Gonzaga is the best team.
I 100% agree with you, but if Gonzaga and Michigan meet down the road, as much as I love Ohio State and the Buckeyes, Michigan's going to win that game. I just think that Gonzaga is not going to beat a team that is a Power 5 conference. And yes, I know they're undefeated, but Gonzaga has not been able to beat the bigger teams in the past, and I don't think they will be able to. Now, let's get to the top plays.
Let's go to the top 5 plays. Megan Kozar beats the defender and scores with a left hand for Kent State lacrosse.
In Kent State volleyball, number 4 getting the stop on the Bowling Green attack with that clutch block.
Number 3, Lindsey Thal in the post with the sideways pass to Nyla Blackford for the fillet. Yeah.
Number 2, Claire Kelly driving in the beautiful layup to put the game up 3.
And the number 1 play, Taylor Heberly gets the kill for Kent State volleyball to win the 3rd set of the match against the Bowling Green Falcons.
And when we come back, we have award-winning segments like My Magic Money Line, the Centofanti selections, and our Men on the Silver Mountain. So don't go anywhere. Don't turn that dial. We'll be right back.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, and she convinced me to continue my education.
No one receives a diploma alone.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane. Woo! You got this.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And a another and another and another and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? Well, now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back to Sports Corner, everybody. I would like to wish a public apology for everyone who bet with me last week. We went 0-3. However, I promise to you I will make it up to you this week. This is an all-UFC slate. Let's go ahead and get started with Thiago Santos, the plus 145 underdog over Alexander Rakic. I believe he will beat the up-and-coming prospect in that light heavyweight bout. Later on, I got Aljamain Sterling, the plus 120 underdog over Peter Yan, the bantamweight champion. I believe Alja will get the single leg takedown and ultimately submission him. And then Israel Adesanya, the man from Auckland, New Zealand, will be Jan Blachowicz with the minus 275 favorite. He will be a double champ on Saturday night.
And let's get to my Centofanti selections. For this first day of March, got to give props to the Kent State women's volleyball team. Despite dropping two games to the undefeated Bowling Green Falcons this past Thursday and Friday, they proved why they are the clear second team in this conference. Their will to fight after dropping the first two sets Thursday sent a clear signal to the rest of the league that they are a force to be reckoned with. They have been led by outside hitter Savannah Matthews along with Morgan Copley and Taylor Heberly. The Flashes are second in the MAC in kills and first in hitting percentage as their journey in this unusual season continues. Their fight to be champions goes on.
Let's get to men on the Silver Mountain. This week, I'd like to send a tribute to Alex Smith. As announced earlier today by Ian Rappaport, the football team plans on releasing Smith either today or tomorrow. And for all the good he has done with this team in Washington, I just wanted to say personally thank you. It has been amazing to watch the 2020 comeback story from Smith, as it is almost a never to see someone come back from an injury like this. Smith pioneered through all the adversity and got the Washington football team to the postseason this past season.
Truly inspiring indeed, partner. My man on the Silver Mountain is Darius Garland. Sophomore NBA player had one of his best games of his NBA career so far Thursday in Philly. He dropped 25 points and was one of the vocal points of this Cavaliers offense in a career game. Now, what we saw what can happen when you get Darius Garland and Colin Sexton going collectively. Both of these guys dropped 20 points, ladies and gentlemen. It's a recipe for success, and that's the confidence boost the Wine and Golders have desperately needed.
Just wanted to make something real quick. Atlanta Hawks fired Lloyd Pierce. They get Nate McMillan in now. From Austin Arnold
and Dante Centofanti.
Good night from Sports Corner, everybody. Tune in next week.